Greetings, ship engineers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey Grav Runners. Episode 2, the launch of the Grav Runner. So at this point, what we need is a butcher table. Let's make it out of steel, because I don't really have a lot of wood. And once we have the research going, I can salvage things for wood or cut down some trees real quick. Glitch is the one that does plant cutting better than anyone else. Would the ancient danger be worth it? Big risk, very little reward, so no. Again, that just sounds to me like you're aiming to get murdered. Not a lot to be gained from one of those. It might have some materials if you're, like, desperate, but we're not that desperate. Would otherwise be pretty suicidal. Alright, Glitch, you are done sleeping. Please obtain the requisite research nowsies. Ooh, dog treats. Alright. Ooh! Bucks and dough. That'll work. Runloth, you're in luck. Alright, biofuel refining is done. So Glitch, you are going to go harvest the trees. And we are going to build a biofuel refinery here. Fine, what are you working on? Don't worry about this anymore. I think we have enough steel to get out of here. We have 1 day, 1 hour to get out. All cloud watching. Alright. Now it is, it's chicken and the egg, as you can see. I can't get the biofuel refinery up without some source of alternative power. So what I want to do is set up, a wind generator here that can power on the chemgen, that can then power on, or rather power on the biofuel refinery that can refine for us. And it is a windy map, so there's plenty of wind to do it. Dude, I frickin' no. We need you to hunt. We don't need to clown watch. Yeah, you're clown watching now. No, sir. You get the hell to work. Alright. Hey, everybody. It's work day. You work or you die. I advise you to plan accordingly. I don't care about the colony name, because it's temporary. So here we go. Butchery. Butcher forever. Drop. Glitch. Butcher. Chem fuel. From organics. Forever. Drop. And all other deconstruction orders canceled. I don't have them. I don't have need for them. Looks like Mr. Soldier's having trouble taking down some... Oh, there we go. First game. No, I take it back. I need some steel. Well, maybe what I could do is I could get steel, salvaging the wind turbine and the like. We'll see. I'll think on that. And ancient danger? Yeah, I know. Alright, also, meals. No raw food. I don't need anyone eating raw meat. Alright, Runeloth's coming back with a kill. Actually, Runeloth, go hunt another buck. Klein will go haul, or Glitch rather will go haul that. And then Klein, if we do indeed need a little bit more steel, the easiest source for that, you have a mining of 5. Let's go to this ruin. $18 hours. Where'd that buck go? Oh, there you go. Gonna have to do some manual hunting because he's not very good. There we go. All right. A little bit more butchery, and he's out to hunt more bucks. Oh, this one's already unconscious. Perfect. Alright, Biofuel Refinery by default does not use meat. It does now. Klein's moving some furniture. But I need the pilot's console built more than I need furniture. So that's made of marble, and everything else here is steel. So, Klein, you come out here and deconstruct. And of course, that wind turbine will be a source of steel once we're ready to break away from the ship. T-minus 15 hours. Alright, the chem fuel gets loaded up in the small chem tank, and that allows us to actually leave. Nope, 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 nope. Haul it all. There you go. $12 hours. Alright, we have a pilot console. Klein, refuel the chem tanks. And then the next fuel is going to go into the chem gen so that I can get rid of the wind turbine. So we're running off of chem power rather than anything else. And the more I can butcher right now, the better. Before we skedaddle out of here. Okay. 10 chem fuel per tile. So if we wanted to launch right now, we could, but I'm not quite ready. I think what I want to do is get ahead of the schedule. Nope, I know that last one was consuming venison. I don't intend to do that. Alright, schedule. Runeloth, you get to sleep. Glitch and Klein will pull extra duty right now. Horseshoe pin in a valid position? Yeah, you can throw it from there. Alright, so this tank has 175 chem fuel already. Eject some chem fuel, because I meant to load it in the chem gen. Refill the generator. Turn the generator off, because we don't need it at the moment. And then put rest of the chem fuel back in the tank. So the tanks can now eject fuel. Alright, at this point, pretty much everything needed from this map tile has been loaded up into the ship, right? We've got 6 hours to spare, which is, sounds about right. So let's go ahead and break down the wind turbine. Don't need it anymore. And then I'm going to create a new zone. So the way that home zones work is the home zones and zones move around with your ship. It's bound to your ship. There is some bugs that I found, but not major ones. Most of the bugs are related to things that don't matter right now. They're not relevant. But if you add a home zone here, that home zone will move around with you from zone to zone. And then additionally, I'm going to create a new zone called ship. And this zone binds to the ship as well. So I'll paint the interior of the ship, because if there's ever like scurry on animals or manhunter packs or anything like that, we're going to want to stay inside. So at the moment, glitch, you can sleep, but you're not going to be able to sleep for very long because we're about to pull up stakes here in a second. Five hours to spare. Let's get the hell out of here. So I'm going to quick save Grav Runners. And here's how to launch. Launching is like a ritual. The more crew that you have, the higher quality launch you have. The more thrusters you have, the higher quality launch. Piloting ability, which is intellect. There's also other ways to improve these as well that we'll interact with later on. But let's go. Let's get the hell out of here before the robots kill us. At the current quality, the Grav ship won't be able to launch again for 4.5 days after landing. There's also a 56% chance of having a minor incident when landing the Grav ship. And here's where we can go. Now, we are looking for biomatter, right? We are chem-fueled. So we have tropical rainforests, temperate forests, and grasslands, and arid shrublands. I'm going to go to the forests. It's also worth noting that Odyssey adds in tons of points of interest. So this point of interest is a lake with an island and a wet climate, so it rains more often. Where we were was a windy pond, so wind turbines would be extra good there. We have got lakes with islands. We've got an ancient heat vent, which means they regularly vent heat from underground as like an ancient heat vent heat wave. And also there's a landmark, a crocodile ear heat fence. So there are tons of things to see around here called landmarks, and they're everywhere. Some of them are even ruined cities in the Scarlands. So if we look at the Scarlands, we have the glow forests, which are like permanently dark glowing mushroom forests. I'm looking for a Scarland city. There are ruined cities, sort of like real ruins. Yep, here. No, that's not one. God, where are ruined cities? Here's one. This is, no? Yeah? No, that's a basement with a cave. Basement with a cave. But yeah, there's tons of points of interest around here. Ancient facilities with chem fuel, so on and so forth. What we want to be doing is heading somewhere with, just a temperate forest. And with that in mind, going somewhere interesting, towards something interesting, like going towards an infested settlement, or going towards the increased plant life abandoned colony, that could be pretty cool. So I'm going to head southeast, knowing that there's a bunch of points of interest over here that might be of some interest. Oh, also, where I am going has wild psychoid plants. Sweet. Let's get high. Sounds good to me. So there's tons of terrain modifiers that you can find everywhere. And this one, for instance, doesn't even have an icon. You know, if you click around, there's just loads of them. It's really, really cool. All right, here we go. And we're off. First launch. Let's go. Robots can't touch me now. So, what ends up happening is your Grav engines are destructive unless you have a Grav anchor. So we're not really going to be able to return back there. But if we do want to make a home, we can make a Grav anchor later on. And that's what the tooltips told us. All right, here we go. Another grassland. I didn't mean to come to another grassland, but that's fine. So we have an ancient danger here. We have got components. steel. So I'm going to want to be near steel and more steel. So landing around here is nice. The only issue with landing around here is we're near map edge, and I don't really want to be too close to map edge. So maybe what I'll do is I'll make a compromise and land here. Close enough to the steel that it's usable, but not so close that, like, if an enemy coming in from map edge, like, lands on top of our heads. Confirm landing zone. And down we go. Oh my god, we didn't have a negative event. So normally, as referenced, you generally have some sort of breakdown. What that means is, like, your thrusters could break, or you could land and get a damaged ship where things on your ship get damaged. We landed perfect. We freaking did it. We're amazing. Alright, so unrestricting. I don't know how much time until the mechs want to come and smite me to death, but what's going to be really important to do is to have a ship more capable of relaunch. So the current priority right now is improve the ship's capability. Does the old rule about tile resources apply? Yes. So in the default story teller settings, because this is worth mentioning, there is a new tab here, which is called pneumatic resources. So right now I'm playing on Losing is Fun, and pneumatic mineable resources 50%. Adjust how many mineable resources are generated on the maps after your first. So if you want full resources every time, you can kick this up to 100, or even higher if you really want to be nomadic, but by default it's at 50%. And just make sure I'm going to Losing is Fun storyteller. Alright, so some factors about launching is the more engines you have, the better it is stability-wise. And we can have up to 4 thrusters, small thrusters on a ship. So in order to outrun the robots, thrusters are going to be king, I think. So the first priority right now is by building thrust. All right. We are also still going to want lots of chem fuel, stockpiling chem fuel up to the 9s, which means creating another dump stock here of fresh corpses that are not human-like. And Runloth, you are gonna go kill the only ibex doe here, and then, like, turkeys. Alright. So each thruster is a whole bunch of steel, and I landed here because there is hella steel nearby. Also components, but I'm going to mine the components later after we level up a little bit in mining steel for skill. Thought I heard something in there. I think it was mechs? No, it was the bear. I heard the bear. Incoming mechanoids 11 hours. Okay, So normally, on this scenario, you have a ship capable of hopping sooner than that. So I might need a dev mode, because this is a modified scenario that has some unintended consequences. So I'll do a dev mode cooldown before it becomes fatal. Wow, Runloth, you really suck at shooting. Did the mechs hunt you forever? That's a spoiler. I'm not... again, really important that everyone in chat reads this. If you want to ask me questions about not specifically what I'm currently working on, there's a time and place for it, and it's called Discord. Because I have logged a lot of hours playing this already, and if you want those types of spoilers, I'm happy to provide them in Discord with spoiler tags, but I won't be in stream because I can't shut your ears for you if you don't want to hear it, right? So, out of respect for the people that don't want major spoilers, I won't be answering questions that include them. It got tired of you. Okay. Persistence hunting at its finest. Alright, I am gonna stop auto home zoning because auto home zones added a whole bunch of stupid to the ship. And I don't want, to own the surrounding area where I'm, like, sweeping it. That's pointless. Okay. Mr. Glitch. You can plant cut. So another thing is we can make chem fuel from trees. And I'm going to have Glitch go do that. While Ruinloth attempts to fire at things. Oh, well, look at you. You actually managed it. And you're going to see what the mech threat looks like. Because its, like, cooldown is busted. Oh, interesting that there's regular raiders. An oaf. A night owl masochist. From the Axe Rogues. Well, I guess, Ruinloth, you get to have a break from what you were working on, because, we got yet another enemy stepping up to the plate. McKee. What's his shooting skill? 12, but he's trigger happy, so he misses a lot. Plus, it's raining. Certainly doesn't help. He probably can't outrun McKee either. Because he's got some stab scars. So, Klein, come on, step in and help. There we go. First shot, he hasn't missed yet. Skill of 6. Yeah, you, okay. Good job, Klein. You did it. Ruinloth, I'm disappointing you. So I'm going to tend to McKee. And he can just walk off the map tile if he wants. Mr. Glitch, you're still getting wood. Klein, go back to mining. And I know that the rogues are coming in, the mech threat is coming in 0.6 hours. I am aware. So this is what the mech hive looks like when they arrive. They are, because I know you guys were curious. These guys are scattered everywhere. So, as I mentioned, because of the unintended consequences of the edited scenario, we are going to have to pull up stakes immediately. I might need to change some things behind the scenes so they don't just keep doing this. But let's go ahead and prepare our departure anyway. So, you're only a little bit bleeding after shooting you in the heart. You're welcome. And there are Scythers already on top of us. I like how this Scyther is like, what are you guys doing? There, everyone in the ship. Bye, guys! Alright, where are we going? Ancient Heat Vent or Lakewood Island? Lakewood Island sounds good. Bye, Max! Fancy seeing you here. Eat Grav Dust, morons. Little skip and a hop. Probably because we didn't go very far. The mechs pursue us more. If we did bigger jumps, I think they pursue us less. So, trying to get those thrusters up, kind of important. We've got some steel right here, so this is my potentially liked landing spot, because it has components in steel. There's also steel and steel. Oh, the island is in the northeast. Oh, look at that. Swank. Land zone. And Midnight Kit, thank you for the sub. Terror Kittens for the cheer. Backroad Runner for the resub. Alright, let's see if we can buy a little bit more time. So we had a thruster breakdown. That was our negative consequence of the jump, where the thruster needs maintenance. Klein, you're on it. And then let's go and... so we don't have batteries, so like, the ChemGen just does ChemGen-y stuff until it's done, right? So we're just going to keep refining chem fuel so we can keep hopping, because our current chem tank is empty. We got a bunch of yaks. Yaks give lots of meat. That's good. Create another animal corpse zone. And have Ruinloth, once he's done refining that chem fuel, go and do that for us. The other thing that I was trying to do, and I was really interrupted by some scythers and the like, is amass some wood, because obviously you can turn wood into chem fuel too. So Glitch can come out here and harvest some wood. We can also harvest berries. Eventually we're going to run out of food if we have to keep running. So do I have the materials for the thruster? No, I don't have the steel. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Torch lamp. So we can mine by light. Ruinloth is gonna go yak hunting. So there's yaks, and then everything else is a little bit harder to hunt, or more dangerous to hunt. New butcher table? No, it's right here. I just need to put it down. Yeah, okay, the incoming mechs are constantly coming. So I think what I'm going to do is... Give me 1 second, I have a solution. I'm going to buy me a little bit more time so I can make improvements to the ship so that we don't have to keep dev mode solutioning. And I will use my... I would say in post, but whatever the opposite of in post editing magic is. So give me, I'm going to say I'm going to need 35 seconds to solve this. How about that? Solving it in 35 seconds? Would that be impressive? Does someone want to time me? I think I'm done. I think I did it in less than 35. 3 days, 18 hours. Hey, look at that. Ooh, I'm magic! Yeah, one of the advantages of used to be a coder is, there ain't no problems I can't solve like that. So let's try to get our thrusters up so we can get further from our location, because they're tracking us. So some important things to do is, yeah, like I said, thrusters. And then after we get thrusters, oh, good shooting. After we get thrusters, adding some quality of life amenities here, like maybe bedrooms, maybe a kitchen, we'll see. But I bought us time in a good way. So we have 3.5 days. Ah, there's a lot of fertile soil here. A lot of fertile soil. Hey, Breakfire, thank you for the resub, man. I appreciate all that you do for me. That's like a bad place for meat, bud. But, you know, whatever. Berlin, thank you for the resub too. So we've got 27 components. That's going to be enough for all these thrusters. And then, as I mentioned, we're going to want some sort of source of food. Probably a stove, I'm going to guess, electric stove. Maybe individual bedrooms. We'll see what kind of time we have and what time we have to play with. The other thing I could do is install my butcher table just like on the back of my ship. You can install stuff outside of your ship. It's obviously not going to be airtight, but like, who cares? It's a butcher table that I want outside so we don't get everything bloody. So I'm going to actually do that. I'm going to be towing around a butcher table, kind of like how people tow around their grills to, like, you know, maybe that's something people do. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, so I don't have to keep reinstalling it. Laziness, peak laziness. Yeah, tailgate parties, exactly. I was blanking on the term, but I appreciate it. All right, we don't want to drive the yaks off the map tile, so I'm going to try to, like, spook the yak towards the inside of the map, because obviously if you shoot it when it's on map edge, it'll, like, run towards map edge, and then it's unbutcherable. All right, another nice thing to do in this ship would be to have shelves, because shelves are going to make things less ugly. That's kind of a nice to have, not a need to have. Obviously, the thrusters come first, so apart from thrusters, everything else is going to be like taking a back seat. All right, let's do the same. Manual hunting. Oh, it ran off anyway. You can't guarantee it, but it can help. And it looks like we're getting a decent amount of chem fuel, so we're up to 200, about 200 chem fuel, which is going to give us a bigger hop, hopefully buying us more time before the mech threats. But we are running low on food, too, I have noticed. We can obviously forage for berries if we need to. Wild Root wouldn't be terrible either. But obviously, surviving the mechs is the highest priority. So here is thruster number 3, and Runloth is joining us on the mining. And I would agree with that. There's really nothing yummy to hunt right now. So we have an almost full chem tank. I'm going to make sure that we top up our chem tank to 250 so we have max range hops. And then get the hell out of here, because this place feels a bit cursed. I'm also going to want to get the machinery. So Klein has a mining of 5. Runloth has a mine of 6. I guess... Switch? And you can see why I was breaking things down on the last map tile, because with the mining of 5 and 6, you don't get good speed or good yield. Our guys were surveyors, they aren't miners. So it's a bit by design. The good news is we are getting some steel still. However, we're down to only a few meals. And then, of course, this barracks is, like, ugly and dirty, which is a bit of concern. Alright, so something else that we want to do is let's stop making it from organics so we can save up for food. Ah, we've got donkeys. Runloth, go for the donkeys. And start using the wood that we cut for chem fuel instead. So going for full-grown trees or full-grown berry bushes so that we have some source of food. There's not a lot of ripe berries around. Not seeing a lot of ripers. No one calls them ripers, but now I do. So you're welcome. Oh, don't say don't scare the donkeys off map tile. Alright, looking at the roof zone, that looks correct. Looking at the home zone, I need to add the new thrusters and the butcher table. Where to hop to next? I think what we want to do is we want to figure out what a max hop looks like to try to get as much distance between us and the pursuing mechs before deciding. So we'll just see like how much chem fuel we end up with. I think it's going to be a max. We can also build another chem tank. So when you go to launch... Oh, and I see an issue with the engine cooldown plus the mech threat timer, so give me a second with that. Because I might as well just solve that now, so we don't have some sort of overlap again. I'm going to give myself a little bit more time, and then I shouldn't have to continue tinkering with it, I think. What happens when you land on something? So you can't land on anything that isn't pathable. Okay, 4 days, and then our cooldown timer is 3 days. So when you land, it has to be walkable, but it destroys everything. So one interesting game mechanic for that is if you, let's say, wanted to trap an animal, and you had, like, grav hull and walls like this and an open slot, you could just, like, trap someone. So if you're hunting high priority targets, let's say Alpha Thrumbo, and you want to stick it inside your ship, you could do that. I've tested it myself. It's really funny. You're like, dibs! Just land and make him a prison. Or, worse yet, or better yet, depending on who I ask, make a giant kill box, line it with turrets, and then land your ship with all the enemies in the middle. Why not? You can. Game don't stop you. Just instant murder kill box landing on your enemies. 'Cause you could. I mean, it's not often your enemies are like out in the open like that, but if they ever were, you could just land your ship on them. In fact, you can land your ship on enemies and just kill them instantly. Just flatten them like a pancake. The game is permissive. I'll put it that way. So I have trapped like a horse that way because I wanted in playtesting this to tame a horse. So I just landed my ship with a horse in the middle of the ship and it couldn't move. And I was like, well, you can't escape from me, so you're going to be tamed eventually. And it worked. Worked real well. All right, let's see. So Rolanth is hunting more donkeys. And once we get the thruster up, I think getting a kitchen up is the next priority. Can you move your ship in a tile after you've landed? No. So the idea of the grav engines is they're inherently destructive. So, well, no with a caveat. No is in, I can't just move my ship from here to there. But I can move my ship from this map tile to another map tile and then back. And if you ever want to go back, you need to research something called a grav anchor, which allows you to blast off and not destroy the tile behind you. Essentially, this is a game mechanic to not make your save game files bloat up into the gigabytes. Because if you needed to save the state of every settlement you've ever been in, your save game file would become unloadable very, very quickly. So the game design is every time you blast off, you don't return to where you came from unless you have a grav anchor there. And then having a grav anchor there acts like a multi-settlement. So if in your gameplay, you can set a max number of colonies. So each place that you basically claim for returning there is like a settlement in its own way, where it will have its own events and have its own weather and have its own everything. But you're not supposed to basically be able to return everywhere all the time because your game would explode. So it was a smart decision not to allow that. All right, question for you guys. How do we get food? NPM or cooking? So the advantage of an NPM is that there's no food poison risk, and it spreads food out more. You get more nutrition for fulfillment. The advantage for cooking is it will make us happier, and Glitch can cook. Glitch has cooking skills. I might have done that because IRL Glitch has cooking skills. I will not say whether that was the inspiration or not. But regardless, I think it's safe to say we're going to want to make just a bunch of chem fuel to have a nice stockpile of chem fuel. I'm also going to start making some shelves. So I'm going to resolve this poll now. We're going to do some cooking. So what I want to do is to set up a kitchen. And let's update the map priority. Build a ship kitchen. So in my designer here, I'm going to move some of the beds out of the way. And the plan is to put a stove here. And then put walls here. It's going to be a very squat kitchen. Like that. Not sexy, but functional. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Odyssey Grav Runners, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind I've asked for no spoilers, so if you have a question that would include a spoiler, ask in Discord instead. If you would like to join Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Grav Runners.